Hello, the internet. Welcome back to our little corner of said internet. I am OneManBluMan, and with me is Rixart, and we are happy to start another stream. Sorry for running a bit late. We were finishing off a few things on our end,
Hey,
and yeah, we are continuing off at production. Got an update for you on the Piss. Well, not Pitt's Bible, but the series Bible. As where it stands right now, it's about 95% done. I just have to do human recordings for it, as I was using text-to-speech software to time things and all that in terms of audio. It might take a little bit longer because I'm happy with what I've got so far, but I feel like I can make it visually a little bit more better, so please hold up, but it should be coming out within the next week or two. And me and Rixart will be also continuing our discussions of the animated / cartoon shows for Star Wars. So Rixart, seeing that you've watched these next ones and I've only watched clips for said shows.
since
Carry it
Bad
away.
Batch, since Bad Batch came out first, do you want to
Okay,
air out all your thoughts on it?
Bad Batch. You seen that I've watched half the show and I've only caught clips of later things. I enjoy the two seasons that I've watched of Bad Batch. I think it's a very interesting and necessary take to see what happens to the clones.
Yeah.
Is it a thing that I think should have been 4 seasons long? Not really. It's not a bad show. It's worth a watch. It's the epilogue to the Clone Wars. I am just, because I am that old, I would prefer Republic Commandos. And unfortunately, George Lucas, we're lucky to have Republic Commandos at all in canon, but it's because I enjoy it. I like the characters. I think it did good for what it needed to do, explaining what happened to the clones, setting up certain things within canon. Although personally, I like to think it's setting up certain things for legends. But that's our conversation for live action Star Wars.
Yeah.
But overall, it's worth a watch. It's not something that I can write home about because I haven't finished it. And like I said, I like how it explains what happens to the clones. I know you've only watched the first season, if I'm remembering correctly.
Half of the first season, yeah.
So where did you end up finishing in Bad
I
Batch?
think it was when Omega got her laser arrow thing.
Okay.
It was a really long time ago. Yep. Because they had fought Fennec Shand. I remember seeing that.
Okay.
This one.
If that's the case, then I'll just talk about some of the highlights on it. The destruction of Camino. Spoilers, sorry, I should have mentioned that.
Yeah, but it's been years.
Yeah, it's been 5 years now. What is... Where does the time go? I destroyed the destruction of Camino. I liked how it explains why Bad Batch didn't turn. I love the episode where I'm trying to remember his name. I think it's Reckon.
Wrecker?
Yeah, Wrecker. And his trip triggers. I genuinely enjoy that. I enjoy explaining on who trains the stormtroopers in season 2. But it's just one of those things that it should have been like 1-2 seasons, just exploring what happened to the clones. But
Okay.
yeah, I think it has a much better art style than the Clone Wars from the outset. But yeah, nothing else to really say. It's on par with Clone Wars. It kind of just feels like it's additional couple arcs to Clone Wars. So it's best way I can describe Bad Batch is it's just the epilogue to the epilogue to Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Now for the shows that you've watched.
Alright, since it's like more since it's more of an anthology thing with no bearing to the canon in a way, let's start with Visions.
Okay.
Alright, so Disney Plus and I guess streaming sites started to do more anthology shows. So Visions was one. There was also another one called Kizazi Moto, which was based off like African legends and stuff. And then, I think Predator had their anthology series on Prime. So, but anyway, yeah. A lot of people were doing anthology shows, and Visions, to me, was the flag bearer of that. And you know what? It was okay. It was good. There was a bunch of episodes in it that I wish was expanded on, and it looks like they might be doing that because recently one of the shorts from the second season, I think, The Ninth Jedi, it got like a full season order, and I'm planning to watch that in a bit.
Okay. Remind me correctly. I know for season 1 we got Dooku.
No, that's Tails.
That's Tails. Okay. Oh yeah, Vision's the anime one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like anime and gets into like it's like different studios work on their own episodes with like a tale, like what we were talking about earlier with a friend of ours. So the first episode was like this 3D black and white Sengoku period Ronin style, like a Jedi or Sith warrior walks into town and just like a Kurosawa film, basically.
Paying homage to what inspired Star Wars in the first place.
Yeah, that was episode 1. There was, I think this was first season, like a brother and sister being on opposing sides and fighting this empire kind of thing. That was one. There was one that really stuck with me, and it's like a robot boy, kind of like an Astro Boy kind of character, and he can use the Force. I thought that was interesting.
Okay. Now you're talking to someone who hasn't watched Visions. This, if people are wondering why I haven't watched things past Bad Batch, this is the time period that Star Wars lost me.
Yeah.
As a fan,
But yeah, Star Wars Visions is really more known for like a spectacle kind of thing. Like if you dig into like 3D or stop motion or like traditional anime, Studio Ghibli kind of stuff, then yeah, Visions is for you. It's like the Fantasia of Star Wars.
Okay.
From like Disney canon and stuff.
How would you now? For me, who hasn't watched it, my main things to ask. I know it's got like different directors and art styles, and you mentioned that one of these episodes has got a series order. Do you think, as someone who's a lapsed fan, would you say it's worth a watch for someone like me?
Yeah, I would say that because it's not connected to like any big stories or anything. These episodes are fairly one and done.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, these are set way before the prequels as well, the majority of them.
The time period's kind of like all over the place, so I wouldn't be able to. I would say that no major character from like the movies and the shows show up in this. It's just these characters, they exist in their own time, their own worlds. That's it.
Okay. What's the highlights for you from Visions? Is there something you you think is definitely going to be more of a staple moving forward for the type of way Star Wars can survive in its new environment, or?
No, I think it's just them having fun.
Just them having fun?
Yeah, just them contacting like these different studios and trying to bring in a new audience and.
But seeing that it's like an anthology, like the 2003 Clone Wars, where would you compare it with the 2003?
I would put 2003 a lot higher because like that was like connected to the main movies. This one is just like a. You don't really need to watch it.
Okay.
But when you do, you're gonna have a good time, I would say.
So one of those, not a need to watch, more.
It's just them having fun, like working out different styles, and with the spin-off show like just released, maybe we'll get more from the episodes we've seen. But for now, I would just say it's a fun watch. Go watch it. You're not gonna be bored.
Okay.
One episode is gonna grip you.
Oh,
in a way.
And highlights in terms of the animation styles. Which episodes do you think generally got the premise of different animation styles and that right for you?
Okay, Studio Trigger did an episode.
Okay.
But that was like doing season 1. No, that if you know Studio Trigger, then they're gonna bring it. Oh wait, yeah, they did the twins. The twins. That was back in season 1. That was a very enjoyable one. Oddman did an episode for season 2. So yeah, before we move on, I would just say it's a fun experiment. This is just them experimenting with different stuff and like getting into the sandbox of the world, focusing on different characters and stories. So yeah, Star Wars Visions, good show. You're not gonna be bored, I would say.
Okay.
But yeah, moving on to Tales. Tales is the 3 seasons of the Tales of series. That I have more to say, starting with Tales of the Jedi. So, Blue Man, I remember we talked quite a bit when it was released. Now, you got anything to say?
Well, if I'm remembering correctly with Tales is following different characters per episode, and the only 2 that I know of is Ahsoka and Dooku.
They are the only ones they focus on.
Is it multiple episodes of each of those characters then?
Okay, for the first season, it's the way they structure is very confusing. Like episode 1 is Ahsoka, then the next 3 episodes it's Dooku, and then the remaining 2 episodes it's back to Ahsoka.
Okay, I know I've seen the clips of the Ahsokas and some of the.
It was very it was very awkward, and yeah, just saying it right now. With each of the Tales show, they only focus on 2 characters. So for Tales of, it's Ahsoka and Dooku. For the next one, I think it was Barriss and Morgan Elsbeth.
Okay.
And the third one was Cad Bane and Asajj Ventress.
Now, if I'm remembering correctly, it's all Dooku, but just before Qui-Gon's death, and
it's
just after Qui-Gon's death, if I'm remembering correctly.
It's explaining his fall to Darkseid. But we'll get into that because I really have a lot to say about the Dooku episodes. But let's begin with Ahsoka because I feel like that one didn't really have that much to say with her.
That's the one that I heard from, because the only bit I know from it is it's where Anakin trained her with clone troopers on how to deflect blaster fire.
Yeah.
And it was basically it's set afterwards, but it's the foreshadowing of her surviving Order 66.
Yeah, like the first episode was about her as a baby and being revealed that she's force sensitive. And that was the only episode we got, like, at the D23 event, I think. So going into this, a lot of people were saying, oh, it's going to focus on different Jedi and stuff like that. So episode 1 is about Ahsoka, fine. And then, then as I said, the format is that they focus on 2 characters in these seasons. So it's not really that much as it's not like Visions where each episode is focused on like a different setting and stuff like that. It's mostly just explaining about each of these characters and getting them to the place where they were in canon. Like for Ahsoka, it's barring the first episode, it's explaining about how she survived. I think with Ahsoka is a lot more scattered, but episode 1 was about her becoming Force sensitive and people realizing that. Her next episode was, Anakin training her to practically survive Order 66, and neither of them know it. And the last episode was what she was doing after the Empire.
Okay.
And a lot of people took issue with that because there was already a book on it. So, Dave Filoni, he just loves to contradict himself. Dooku, it was about his fall to the dark side. The next one, it was Barriss Offee and what she was doing after Order 66. Morgan Elsbeth, it was about how she came into power and how she got to meet Thrawn. For Cad Bane, it was about his rise to becoming a bounty hunter. And Asajj Ventress, it was about her resurrection and what she was doing during the early days of the rebellion.
Alright.
Yeah, but yeah, with Ahsoka, I think we touched on it like live last stream, but this was around the time where she kind of became Dave Filoni's precious.
Yeah.
Because he was inserting her in everything. And I feel personally she did not need to be in Tales because we already knew so much about her.
This is, I know this was the time period, and despite being someone who is a Ahsoka fan, she's been used way too much lately.
Yeah.
She's one of these characters that needs a break.
No, I mean, she already got, like, because around that time, Season 7 of Clone Wars had come out. And I felt like she didn't really need to be in this show, and before I get into it, it should have just been Dooku. It should have just been a Dooku show, because he was the one who was carrying the first season.
Yes, because I have seen clips of Dooku. And again, this might be annoying for some people, but we are at a bit of where I'm not directly following Star Wars as much.
Yeah.
And I am with Rixart here, I am a big Count Dooku fan.
He's played by Christopher Lee. He's awesome.
Yeah. Again, he's also one of the few characters that I think would have been better not being a Force user.
Oh, so, wow, okay, let's get into that.
Yeah, so Count Dooku for me, again, I know why this character was made, because Maul was killed off. And I'm here where it's generally Dooku would have been a much stronger character if he was manipulated in a different way to Anakin. So number one, he should have not been a Force user. He should have been someone who should have basically been his family. Someone who was born into royalty and is ruling a planet. He's seeing how the Republic is essentially destroying his home, and he begins the separatist movement via that. It should have been that Palpatine didn't need to make a separatist movement because there was already a growing separatist movement.
Yeah, this kind of goes into like ideas for rewrites, which you and I have discussed. But yeah, I also felt like Dooku. I like him as a Sith Lord. He plays it very well. But I felt like there was enough time in that, and the main important part of the character was that he was the head of the separatist movement.
Yes.
And that's kind of all you needed. from him in a way, and everything to do with him being a Dark Lord and Anakin, killing. That could have been Darth Maul.
Could have been
So
Darth Maul.
throughout the
Oh,
yeah, like I felt like he was killed off too soon in the first movie, and he should have been like the Sith Lord in the entire trilogy. As much as I love Dooku, it should have been more.
Oh, and for people saying, oh, what about those great lightsabers? If you wanted Dooku would have been much better if he was just a gifted swordsman. There's a comic. I can't remember its name. I used to have it. And it's about a battle in the Clone Wars when Anakin was a Padawan. Like, really lovely art style. It's great. So, and pretty much the big bad is a human who fights with a sword and can go up against Jedi, and he's not force sensitive. Can't remember this comic. If anybody knows, please.
Alright. But honestly, I think in a lot of ways, Tarkin should have been a Duke. Because for those that don't know, Christopher Lee was actually approached to play Tarkin in the first movie, but he couldn't do it. So his friend Peter Cushing did it. And then, Peter Cushing passed away, stuff like that. So when the trilogy was coming out, Christopher Lee jumped at the chance to play a character.
Yes, and to glaze Lee here for a second, only actor to be in Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. Again, he was robbed. He should have been Gandalf. If you know that story, hats off to you.
Yeah, definitely. He was practically playing the same character in Star Wars as he was doing Lord of the Rings, because they were airing at the time. So and like Saruman in the Peter Jackson films, kind of got shafted in the third movie. But yeah, before we get into Tell series, the Dooku character just didn't have that much to him, like in the movies and the cartoons. Like in the movies, he just didn't have that much time to get into his story and stuff like that. Because in the first movie, he wasn't there, and the second movie, we get into the Separatists, and people talk about him. But it took him until like halfway through the film for us to even see him.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And we're told he's a Jedi, he's the fallen Jedi, yada yada. And his first big scene is his talk with Obi-Wan.
What is a great scene. It's one of the few good scenes in that's before the Battle of Geonosis in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, and like it's purely Christopher Lee's like portrayal of him that makes him so engaging. And that scene is like proof of that. Like, why did he tell Obi-Wan that there's a Sith Lord in the Senate?
Yeah.
Like, probably to cause dissension and stuff now, but I feel like a part of him really wanted Obi-Wan to, join him. And, in that moment when he says that, I wish Qui-Gon was here.
Yeah. You can,
like,
you can feel it within him that it was Qui-Gon's death that...
Yeah, exactly. Because George made him so connected to, like, these other characters, it feels kind of a waste that we don't really develop time to that. And even in the Clone Wars, I felt like we were robbed of any meaningful interactions there.
Yeah.
Because honestly, half the time, the story seems to forget that he is Qui-Gon's master.
He's Qui-Gon's master. He's, again, very important to the bloody fucking story, and...
I felt like until Tales, nothing was done with it. But yeah, in Attack of the Clones, he's the leader of the Separatist movement, who, from what we knew about him at that time, he was a Jedi, quit, and suddenly became in league with the guy who ordered the death of his Padawan.
Yeah.
And Tales kind of fixes that for me, but we'll get into that. For now, it's something that I never really realized as a kid, but apparently he's not recognized as a Sith Lord by the Jedi.
Yeah, he's just recognized as a fallen Jedi, if I'm remembering correctly.
They're like to me, it still kind of goes over my head. I mean, red lightsaber, Sith lightning. But for all they knew, they didn't know that he had a Sith name until like the last days of the war.
Yes. And that Clone Wars basically explained that, yeah, he's the one who made the clone army.
Yeah, when we talk about the movies, we'll get into that, but yeah, so the whole point of Dooku is the fact that he's essentially Anakin's Darth Vader when Anakin is Luke.
Yes.
Like Dooku is the one that cuts off Anakin's arm, like Vader did to Luke. And then when we get to Revenge of the Sith, it's like in the opening battle, it shows how strong Anakin has become, and with the dark side of the Force, he's able to defeat the Sith Lord that took his arm, like Luke did to Vader. And then, with Palpatine goading in his ear, yeah, finish him off. Luke was able to say, no, I won't fall to the dark side, I am a Jedi. Anakin in that moment just kills him. So yeah, I can explain it better, but when we get to the movies, we can do all that. But I really love that lightsaber duel. Dooku has some of the best lightsaber duels in the cartoons.
Yeah.
But in Revenge of the Sith, that's like my top 3. I love that one. Yeah, because even as a kid, I always like really loved his lightsaber hilt.
I know what you mean. To be fair, there's so much in Count Dooku's character that's from Christopher himself.
Yeah, no, like I said, if any of us had to played it in the movies, the character probably wouldn't have worked. But because it's Christopher Lee and he just adds so much history to him. Like, we never see it, but you can tell just by looking at him. There's just a lot to the guy.
Yeah,
but which we learn. So you were saying?
No, go on. You continue. This is all. This is your spotlight.
But yeah, in Tales of the Jedi, the 3 episodes, it's all about Dooku's realizing that the Republic is corrupt, and ultimately becoming Darth Tyrannus. So let's talk about the first episode he's in. He's on a planet called Raxus. It's completely malnourished. The people are starving. So they have to kidnap a senator's son, for ransom and to get him stuff like that. And so we meet Dooku and a young Qui-Gon Jinn. And he sees the poverty of the town, and he realizes quickly that they're all in on it. So they go to the son of the senator. Even he's disgusted by what he's seeing. And then, the senator comes in with the cavalry. And, and you get to see what made Dooku a great Jedi. Because he was selfless, and he stuck up for people who couldn't defend themselves. So this episode showed that he was once a good man. Fighting against a
corrupt system, essentially.
A corrupt system, and being lost to it. But yeah, this senator orders fire and stuff like that, so it's a firefight. Dooku does his best to defend the town. He sees that the townspeople are just getting tired, and the senator's like, yeah, no one can stop me, not even you, Master Jedi. And that's the first, and then we see Dooku force choke him. And, and that, something that he's gonna do, later on in his life, but that's, the first instinct of his, of himself touching with the dark side. And like Anakin before, he does it in, a protectiveness, reaching for, his anger of this man being so uncaring towards his own people. So that it just made him enraged, and just as he said, evil like his must be eradicated. So this scene shows that Dooku has a strong sense of honor and justice, and he's willing to go to extremes to, get rid of it. And we also see Qui-Gon being the angel on his shoulders, because Qui-Gon is the one who calms him down from doing anything extreme.
Yep, and
so that leads up to when Qui-Gon dies, Dooku fell off the deep end. Sorry, you
Yeah,
were saying?
no. I agree. It's one of those things that the movies never explore too much of,
Yeah, and
unfortunately.
the senator that ruined his own planet, that guy's pretty much Dooku in about 20 years. Because Dooku was also the head of his planet, and because of the Clone Wars and his Sith activities, he let that planet fall to ruin to pursue his own goal. So arguably, he was a lot worse than this guy. So you could say that Dooku was facing the ghost of the future.
He
For
didn't like what he sees.
Yeah. So yeah, that was episode 1. Episode 2 was him and Mace Windu investigating Jedi's death. And this episode set up quite a number of things. If the first one was about the first one was about the seed, like planting the seed that the Republic was kind of a rotting system, evident by the planet of Raxus or whatever they were rotting away as well, because the people were starving, stuff like that. The next episode, it was him. I'm trying to remember there was a councilman that he was sent to help, and it's him and Mace Windu, and you get to see how different they are. Dooku wants to investigate the Jedi's death, but Mace Windu was like, no, let's just take the Jedi back and go. That's what we're here for, that's what was assigned. And both of them were not masters yet. So this was before Windu became a master. So yeah, and Windu's like, alright, fine, we'll do it. And then Dooku, investigates the site where the Jedi died, and he begins to exposit that a Jedi is surprised by an attack that comes from an ally. Like, it's really hard to catch a Jedi by surprise, but if it was from an ally, then yeah, they die, and that kind of sets up to Palpatine's plan of using the clones to kill the Jedi. Because the thing about Order 66 is that no one saw it coming. And you could see they were all really surprised when the clones turned on them.
Yeah, what is the tragedy of Order 66? Yeah. Because it's one of the things I do kind of like in Star Wars at the moment, is that the clones didn't even see it coming, and they couldn't it's one of the few orders they couldn't disobey.
Yeah, sad. But yeah, eventually the councilman was like, yeah, my security guards killed her. He dies. Dooku and Windu face off against security guards. They win. And when the head security guard is imprisoned, he tells Dooku, yeah, we wanted to kill the councilman, but the Jedi was with him, so we had to get rid of her and then force the councilman to make their planet better, because he wasn't doing his job in protecting the people. And Dooku sympathizes with him, but says that, yeah, you went too far. And what's Dooku gonna do? He's gonna go too far. He's gonna wage war on the rest of the galaxy, and that's arguably way worse than what this guy did. So the first 2 episodes is like Dooku facing reflections of himself and what he's gonna do if he continues down this path. Way before Palpatine was there. But yeah, at the end of the episode, Windu was promoted to Master because Dooku went against orders. If he hadn't done the investigation, the Senator would have been alive, which is the reason that Windu gave, and that's when that's when Count Dooku began to become disillusioned with the Jedi. Because, he did the Jedi thing. He investigated the death of the dead Jedi. But because the Jedi Council cares more about the Senator, he was shafted. So, that's why he became... that was like the seed of him realizing that the Jedi are just lapdogs of the Republic.
Yep. What they were at that time.
Yeah. So, it gets more and more. And then the final episode is when, you know, it all comes together. Okay, so the beginning of the third episode, it's like implied that he's already in bed with Palpatine. We don't see them meet or anything, but it's like beginning of the episode, he goes to delete the records of Kamino.
Yeah.
So, definitely strongly implied that before episode 1, Dooku was already in league with Palpatine. And to me, I feel like that makes more sense than him doing it afterwards. So it kind of adds to the tragedy, like he was with Palpatine, but you know, Palpatine is the one that killed his son, but because he's already done so much, he's trapped.
Yep.
And it leads to the final climax of that episode, which we'll get to, but for now, I like the change. Dooku's already working towards the downfall of the Republic. But you know, he's not evil yet. He's just, you know, like he's lost. He doesn't know what to do. He feels like this is his only option for the galaxy. So then you get to meet Qui-Gon during Phantom Menace, and this exchange happens just before he returns to Naboo. And it's like, Qui-Gon, be careful, a Sith Lord is not to be trifled with, and I won't be there to protect you. Because Dooku, like, already knows, like, Maul is working for Sidious and stuff like that, and he's, like, telling Qui-Gon, please be careful, without, you know, outing himself. And, you know, and, like, Yaddle is also there, who's female Yoda, I guess, for those who don't know. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, Qui-Gon leaves, and Dooku and Yaddle, you know, like, have one last conversation. And the whole purpose of the conversation is like saying that the Jedi just don't believe Qui-Gon. Like, they don't believe a Sith Lord is actually, like, up and about, and, you know, like, Dooku knows, and he's, like, trying to protect Qui-Gon, but, you know, he can't, and Yaddle is, like, kind of a middleman. Like, she believes Dooku, but, you know, is also a part of the council. So that's the last conversation Dooku has with Qui-Gon. Because after that, Qui-Gon leaves to go to Naboo, and, you know, Maul kills him. And then the episode flashes forward to the eve of Qui-Gon's funeral, and it gets into why Dooku was not there. Dooku was not there because, you know, he was angry. He was angry at the Jedi, he was angry at Sidious, he was angry at himself. And he's like, yeah, I won't be much company. And the last person he talks to is Yaddle, who notices something's wrong, and follows Dooku to the heart of Coruscant. Yeah, it's like the last... they show this scene in Attack of the Clones. It's like where Dooku and Sidious talk and stuff like that, but it's like a hangar bay or whatever. So yeah, in the episode we see Dooku and Sidious, you know, talk, and like Dooku is like, yeah, you've gone too far. You killed Qui-Gon. And something I do love is that Sidious is definitely annoyed, because he was not expecting Maul to die. The plan.
Oh yeah, no one was expecting Obi-Wan to be...
Yeah, you know, and like, it's consistent in the movies, like, Darth Maul, for all intents, but was his apprentice. And, you know, and like, he's taken off the board, so that puts a serious dent in his plans. So, and you know, and Dooku's right there, so in this context, it's like, yeah, you lost an apprentice, so did I, all in service of our greater goals. And Dooku's on the precipice of realizing that this isn't worth it. Like, Qui-Gon is dead, and he's done so many terrible things, the end result just can't be worth all this betrayal. And, you know, like, Sidious is like the devil on his shoulders, like, trying to tell him, yeah, yeah, sacrifices must be made, but stay the course, like, because right now he needs Dooku. Like, he needs Dooku to complete his plans. Like, before, Dooku was just like a convenience kind of thing, but now Dooku is a necessity. So he wants him in his grip. And then Yaddle comes in, and she sees him with Dooku and knows that Dooku's in league with him. And she's like, yeah, Dooku, step to me. Whatever you've done, help me out now by bringing this man to justice. And Dooku's like in the middle of it all, symbolically and literally. And Sidious is like, remember what you told me. The Jedi is a part of a failing system. So, you know, like, Dooku... This is like a... I talked about before about Revenge of the Sith and how Anakin killing Dooku was like when Luke refused to kill Vader. Well, yeah. This entire episode is pretty much the opening of Revenge of the Sith. This is when Dooku became a Dark Lord. He did not choose well, and that was the purpose of the entire episode. It's like so Dooku, at the command of Sidious, fights Yaddle. But, you know, like, his heart's not really in it. And eventually, he gets Yaddle into this doorway thing, shuts it down, thinks she's dead, and he's, like, disgusted with what he had to do. Sidious comforts him, but just then, with all of her strength, Yaddle uses the Force to open the door and lets light into the room. And this light is, like, scorching Sidious, symbolically saying that he is this creature of darkness, and the light of the Force hurts him. And for a moment, Dooku sees the light. He sees just how much his friend wants to save him, but unfortunately, Yaddle couldn't do it. And the door shuts down, she falls out exhausted, and there's only darkness. Dooku looms over, and his last words to her was that he's gonna bring peace and justice to the galaxy, and he's gonna give peace to her, and he kills her. Just as Anakin kills him 20 years later. Well, I guess...
I think it's 13?
Yeah, 13 years later. And just as what Luke could have done to Vader.
Well, and is a nice little topic for me to diverse. Yeah. The original plan was for Luke to kill Vader.
And then become Vader.
Yes. And Leia wasn't meant to be his sister, it was meant to be someone else.
Yeah, but Lucas didn't really want to do like a new trilogy.
Lucas was burnt out. This was this is why his best friend and writer of the first two movies with him left during Return of the Jedi. George wanted to conclude it there. He wanted to continue. And that's how we got Star Wars the way we got Star Wars.
Yeah. Said all that, but yeah, those were the 3 episodes, and they did so much with Dooku in these 3 episodes than they ever did in Clone Wars. Like, this is what we needed from him. We needed to see more of his relationship to Qui-Gon and how he interacts with the other two, because Obi-Wan and Anakin never really get into that. I feel like that's such a shame. And also, when Maul comes back in the Clone Wars, we don't see any interaction with Dooku. Like, I would have loved it if Dooku just, like, saw that Maul was alive and just goes out to kill him.
I agree.
Like, he saves Obi-Wan, like, on that pirate planet or whatever, and he and Obi-Wan both fight Maul and Savage.
Instead of Ventress.
Yeah. I mean, I like that fight, but, you know, like, Dooku, there could have been so much you could have done with him.
No. But no, I knew quite a bit from the Dooku's one, and it is, again, about time they actually got into Dooku. So I would take it if Tales was just about Dooku, it would be one of the strongest animated series they've done.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, yeah. It's not much, but you know, it delved into the story of a character that desperately needed it.
It sounds like Tales did its job, despite also being a bit divisive because Ahsoka was becoming.
Yeah.
And again, I think both me and you agree. We like Ahsoka as a character.
Yeah, of course.
Just don't have her in everything. She's one of the most, if not the most, fleshed out characters currently.
Yeah.
In all of Star Wars. What? He's saying something.
Yeah. But yeah, really loved Tales of the Jedi. Just the Dooku stuff. He really needed it. Moving on to Tales of the Empire.
Yeah.
Okay, so Barriss Offee. You remember her, right?
No, so you're gonna have to give me some context here. It's been...
She was Ahsoka's best friend who framed her.
Ah, yes, the one that becomes Inquisitor.
Yeah, in the show. Okay, so I guess before then, people didn't really know what became of her, and I feel like the change to her being the one to frame Ahsoka was a bit controversial. Like, I was not there, but how did you feel about it?
I thought it made sense. Again, this is something that I think the Clone Wars did pretty good on in the 3D Clone Wars, is that a lot of Jedi was feeling dissatisfied with the Order and the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Wars as a whole. This is something that, personally, would have made a lot of sense. I mean, not all of them can be warriors. Warriors at the end of the day.
Yeah, you know, from that angle, really done well. Those episodes needed to happen. But you know, when I was watching them, I felt like a little sour that it was Barriss Offee that was the terrorist that blew up the temple and suddenly became evil. Because like, if you don't know, like, her and Master Luminara, that, like, it's not confirmed or anything, but they look very similar to, you know, like Turkish people.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, the Muslim coded characters is what I put into them. So them being kind of, so Barriss Offee being kind of a radicalized religious member of a group, that kind of feels a little squicky to me. But, you know, but like you said, a Jedi, like, going bonkers because of the war, I have no problems with that. I wish it was better set up for her, specifically. But that angle, yeah, I like it. Well enough.
Oh.
Did I cut out?
No, go on. It's just me,
but yeah,
animating.
But yeah, I know I've read, like, people saying that the worms incident.
Yeah.
It's like it's the episode where Barriss and Ahsoka are on that ship, and the clones are infected with the worms or something.
Yep, I know the one.
Yeah, and people are saying that was a really traumatic experience for Barriss, and that led to her change in the dark side and stuff. And I felt like
this is.
I felt like there was a step missing. There was a step missing.
Yeah, this. If we're talking the faults of the Jedi, and this is something that I don't think Star Wars will, because again, there's a lot of influences that go into Star Wars. So, and I know I'm gonna hurt people. We know for a fact, I think it's Buddhism that is the biggest religious inspiration overall for the Jedi. Buddhism and Christianity. What, if you know anything theology, what we won't get, because that is a divisive conversation, seeing that you've got two people from different faiths that are, from a historical standpoint, weren't very nice to each other.
Yeah.
But they are two things that collide in terms of theology. One teaches detachment, with the other teaches more that you have to have faith. It's about faith, and your faith will lead to good works and things to be better. This is the big things most people that don't really dive into theology will not understand about Christianity. And it is coded in Star Wars. Star Wars has a lot of Buddhism, but, and we mentioned this quite a few times now, Luke's refusing to turn to the dark side, and his faith within his father is a very good Christian message. No matter how dark something is, no matter how much the devil is going to tempt you, have faith and overcome it. Yeah, and that's generally one of those things where I think we should do a stream talking about world building and how writers intensely or unintentionally make things within their world that does have some kind of truth in the real world. And I'm one of these people that if they explored more of Jedi actually falling from the Order, this is why I think
that's what we needed.
From Rebels is a really good example of this, because the fall of the Jedi did a number on him, and he was quite young. He was essentially a child soldier. I'm trying to remember the name of from the Jedi series, the games. Cal
Dodd? Cal Kestis?
Yes, the one from the Jedi games.
Oh yeah, Cal Kestis.
Yeah, is a really good example of someone who falls away from the Order. They are good examples in it that the Jedi were essentially upon internal collapse because of the war.
Yeah, I mean, Pong Krell, I feel, could have been a good example of that.
I think he's a good example of someone who wanted to switch sides. He figured out the war was all, let's face it, a front.
Yeah.
And he wanted to switch sides. And that could have actually gone what was very good. Again, we know with the... I know this is us going off topic, so I'll end it here. We know that a lot of Jedis did become Inquisitors. Like, we know that the High Inquisitor fell before Order 66.
He was a temple guard during Barriss Offee's trial.
Yeah. And...
Yeah, most of the Inquisitors, at least one we know in the games, were just Padawan and younglings tortured to become them. But yeah, like you said, the Clone Wars was supposedly a very grisly time, and maybe we should have seen more Jedi just put away their lightsabers, and that dwindled their forces. And
yeah,
but yeah, that would have been. But yeah, that's where Barriss was at that time. She fell to the dark side, did like a lot of crimes, betrayed her best friend, and was imprisoned. But that saved her from Order 66, because in her opening shot we see her see the temple and it's on fire. And at this point I feel like maybe she's calmed down, like she's not as radicalized with the dark side as she was before. And she's like telling the guards, hey, yo, what's happening at the Jedi Temple? And they're like, yeah, be lucky that you're not Jedi anymore. And yeah,
and that being clones as well, I take it as well.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But yeah, so it's Barriss Offee, and the Grand Inquisitor like shows up in her cell, and he takes her to another area where two other Padawans, I think. I don't know if they were in prison or they were just captured. It's never clear. But yeah, the entire episode is just the Grand Inquisitor trying to choose a new one, trying to make one of them into the next Inquisitor, and making them do this trial and all that. And we see Barriss a little bit back to her old self, like her back to like Jedi teachings and stuff like that. And I'll say this right now, I feel like her arc in Tales of the Empire, it's just damage control from how they portrayed her in the Clone Wars.
See, I can't say anything. I haven't watched it, so I cannot say it. I'm one of those people that I don't see a controversy. Again, this is something where...
Like, again, I also wasn't there, so it's just like how I interpreted it. Because she still has somewhat nobility here, which she didn't do in her last appearance in the Clone Wars. So I kind of took that to mean like maybe the writers are trying to make her sympathetic again.
Well, she's a female character in modern Hollywood. I mean, that's the story upon itself. You can't have female characters be completely evil in modern Hollywood, unfortunately.
No, I mean, with what they were trying to do with her in the story, like trying to redeem her, I guess that kind of helps. Yeah, I'll get into it. But yeah, first episode is like, it's not shown, but the third candidate was killed off when he tried to leave. So it's down to Barris and some other guy, and the Grand Inquisitor's like throws one lightsaber, casts a circle of fire around them, and it gets smaller until one of them kills the other. Barris is trying to talk the other guy down, but when push comes to shove, she uses the dark side to choke him.
Okay.
So she's the winner of the trial, and she becomes the next Inquisitor.
If I'm correct, do they confirm that she's the one that gets killed at the end of Rebels Season 2?
No.
No. Okay.
Because
I know that was a fan theory for a long time.
That she was but no, it's like different facial markings and stuff like that. But yeah, basically, the next episode it's Barris and another Inquisitor. They go down to this village, and I think at this point, okay, so at the end of the first episode, she meets Darth Vader, and it's really surprising that Vader just doesn't kill her.
Yes. Well, to be
Would
fair,
have been in character.
This is a conversation we can have here, because it's something that it's probably just headcanon me backed up with lore. Anakin and Darth Vader are two different people to Anakin himself.
Yeah.
I don't ever think Anakin Skywalker considered himself Vader within the suit. The same way I don't think Vader ever considered himself Anakin Skywalker when he was in the suit. I think there's strong evidence, especially in Disney Star Wars, that generally Vader believes he did kill Anakin, and he died on Mustafar.
Yeah, it took until the Obi-Wan series for me to kind of see, okay, yeah, I get why people will say that now. They really are two separate people by their own definition.
It's because again, I the best evidence I can use from the animated series, okay, is Rebels, and that's the battle with Ahsoka, and I think the voice actor of Maul said it brilliantly. Just look at when Ahsoka lands that hit, she sees the eyes, she refuses to leave her master. And he there's that brief moment where he has that recognition. He doesn't want to do it, but then he goes back into that darkness and then says the line, "Then you shall die." Because again, the only person who could have saved Anakin from Vader was family, and he had no family left. Even though Ahsoka was like family to him, it wasn't Padme. And I'm of the genuine opinion in the what if community, if Obi-Wan never followed Padme, Anakin would have turned to the light. I am genuinely of the opinion that Anakin would have followed Padme.
It's definitely something to think about.
But yeah, but then again, this is the continuity errors of Star Wars. It's pretty much a consistent thing now within Star Wars. Is the continuity errors.
Yeah. But yeah, at the end of the first episode, we see a glimpse of Vader, and that's it. He doesn't speak. Next episode, it's Barris and this other Inquisitor going to another planet to search for a Jedi. Barris handles it diplomatically, when she approaches a room full of people, she talks to a child, and she tricks the child with like sweets and stuff to like give up the information. She gets it, and the other Inquisitor, I think, kills the entire room. And Barris is like, yeah, like that's mindless brutality. We already had what we had. We already had the information. And this is when Barris kind of like realizes that the Empire is bat crap crazy. Like, they're not bringing order. It's like it's like when she finally kind of realizes that she's the bad guy.
Yeah.
And like she's not like she's not as noble as she thinks she is, and she's in league with people who are so fallen and so angry that it's like it's when she realizes what she's done, I think, which is what this episode was about. So yeah, they find the Jedi, and to make a long story short, Barris is like, yeah, you have one more Jedi to deal with, and she blasts back the Inquisitor. And she picks up the injured Jedi she found, and that's when she leaves the Empire and her being an Inquisitor behind. And then the next episode, it's like she's set up as the leader of the Path, I think. I think the implication is that she helps like castaways and runaway Jedi find like new homes or something.
Yeah.
So you know, like she's connected to that, and the Inquisitor she was partnered with last episode comes finds her. And it's also implied that Barriss and Ahsoka have made amends.
Okay, it's kind of lost me there.
It's implied, like Ahsoka's not in the episode, but it's like implied that Barriss made amends with Ahsoka to a point. We don't get to see it, so we don't know the full extent of it. But here I am thinking that this is the perfect time for Ahsoka to come.
And she doesn't.
Yeah, because a lot of people like really loved the friendship between them, and well, heartbroken when Barriss betrayed her. But yeah, so yeah, they go into this ice cave thing, and the implication being that the angrier the Inquisitor is, the more trapped she is. But yeah, eventually she gets Barriss, she's injured, and the Inquisitor's like, oh my god, what have I done? Let me go find help, and that's the end of it. So, yeah, that was Barriss' story. Because, you know, I haven't watched, like, the Clone Wars growing up, and especially I have not watched enough of Barriss' episodes.
To me, that's a bit of a disappointment. Like, the first episode, boom, perfect, nicely explained.
I feel like they make her too lukewarm.
Yes.
And that wasn't the characterization they were going with in her last appearance.
Yeah, this is where, personally, again, I can say this because it's Disney, and they are, to a very big extent, a part of this problem within media. Female characters cannot be bad in modern Hollywood. They have to have like a justifiable reason, morally great, and I'm here like anyone can be completely evil. Anyone can be try to do good, regardless of sex, race, sexual orientation, and age. It's
like with Barriss, I felt like for what they had set up in the previous show, they didn't go far enough to make her like fully realize that what she did was really messed up.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
like this is the person that killed an innocent man, put bombs in another civilian.
Yeah.
And broke through all kind of moral and ethical lines to cover it up.
and it just ruins the characterization they have of her. It's a hit or miss with me. As someone who's not watched it, that generally sounds like a miss for me.
Just it's not like it's 3 episodes. It's not that long. Or you could just watch clips. Watch it, and I'm curious to see what you think. Cause I'm not upset about her like being redeemed or anything. It just, it's like these small things that just kind of. Okay, I kind of lost myself there, but like we talked about it.
Yeah.
I felt.
Go on.
She should have been in the Ahsoka show. And then maybe we could have explored it with that, but by herself, I don't think it's as interesting.
I hear you. What was the last 3 then? That was Bane, wasn't it?
No, that's next show. Morgan Elsbeth was the other one.
I do not know that name. What?
Okay, yeah, it's one of the live action villains.
Oh, okay, let's skip. You can. It sounds
okay,
like.
So
this for me to ask questions here. This is.
Yeah.
For me, as someone who hasn't watched it, sounds like season 2 was a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, I mean it's like Tales of the Empire, and yeah, it just didn't kind of lukewarm. It didn't really do all that much.
What's the same?
And that's when I realized that the Tales shows were like giving more to characters that otherwise just didn't have that much to them.
And so,
like Morgan Elsbeth.
Yeah.
Which I'll get into in a bit, but what were you saying?
Yeah, what is a shame with Tales? Because Tales had the opportunity to do something, and it seems like they didn't in the end.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
I guess too little, too late for some characters.
But yeah, go on to season 3, because anything with the a character I don't know, I am going to be sitting here in complete silence.
But, yeah, I mean it's not much, so I'll just like skim through it. But Morgan Elsbeth was a character that was introduced in season 2 of Mandalorian. She was the magistrate of that town, the magistrate that Ahsoka fights.
Yeah.
And she was a villain in the Ahsoka TV show. And Tales of the Empire was released like a couple months after the Ahsoka show, where she, spoiler alert, dies. So, like, this was the opportunity to delve into her character and how she got up with Thrawn. First episode was her past as a Night Sister. So we get to see the Night Sister massacre. We get to see Grievous be scary. We get to see her lose her friends, her family, her planet. Stuff like that, and her escape. That was episode 1. Episode 2 was about... Man, I do not remember episode 2.
That shows how much of an impact it had.
But yeah, I think like the last episode or so is like her becoming the magistrate of that planet she was in Mandalorian season 2. And we get to see that a lot of people just don't like her. Okay. And like she like pitches a ship design to the Empire, and the Empire steals it and aren't gonna pay her. So that leads to the townspeople to turn against her because, she promised that she could pitch to the Empire and get more work for them. And that didn't end up happening. And then we see assassins like attack her and stuff. She defeats them. And we find out that Thrawn was the one that sent them. And that, like, leads to a partnership with Thrawn, and that leads to everything in the Ahsoka TV show and stuff like that. Basically, it was just the bare minimum to
explain her.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sounds like season 2 was a disappointment compared to having Dooku. I mean...
Yeah. I really love Dooku, so, it's like... that stuff like that. Oh, wait, yeah, that was episode 2. Episode 3 was, some former... It's like after the Empire falls, and it's the people trying to take back power from Morgan. But, like, that didn't end up happening. And then, and then one of the civilians sends a signal to Bo-Katan, who then contacts Ahsoka, and that leads to the Morgan's episode in Mandalorian Season 2.
Okay.
But yeah, that's Tales of the Empire. Moving on to Tales of the Underworld. And that one was better than this one, I would say. Let's talk with Ventress, because I feel like that one also didn't really do much.
If I'm correct, isn't this where they put the on-screen relationship with the Jedi?
Quinlan Voss.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the opening of her first episode is like Ventress being led to a burial by Quinlan and Obi-Wan. So, okay, so to go into another tangent, before Clone Wars was cancelled, there was a lot of scrapped storylines and ideas.
It was in one of the lost episodes that are previs.
Yeah, it's like, and one of them was like focusing on Dark Disciple, I think. It's a book series and stuff, but the premise is Quinlan Voss goes undercover to stop Dooku by becoming his new apprentice, and by that point, he and Ventress become closer and lovers and stuff like that. And then Dooku kills Ventress, and that's, for a long time, that was her canonical death. And this episode has her resurrected due to Night Sister magic, which also explains her appearance in the third season of Bad Batch, I think.
Yes.
There's a lot of people like, Sarge Ventress, isn't she supposed to be dead? This one kind of just gives an explanation to it. So you could say that her episodes in Tales of the Underworld is a precursor to Bad Batch.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, she becomes resurrected. She doesn't go to Quinlan or anything, but because, you know, the Empire has risen. So she becomes a bounty hunter. And first episode. Yeah, it's the first episode. An Inquisitor is there hunting her Jedi down, a young Padawan. I don't remember his name, and he's looking for the path that Quinlan Voss canonically established for surviving Jedi. So yeah, they team up, they kill the Inquisitor, and Asajj Ventress has a new road buddy, as she helps him to just go on the path. Next episode is some sort of acquaintance of hers and a droid assassin, whatever. But they do a heist kind of thing. And I don't remember the second episode at all. But anyway, they get a clue, they go to the path. Next episode, Ventress and Lyko, that I'm reading, that's the Padawan's name. They encounter a former separatist. And they get into a fight with raiders and stuff like that, and Ventress manages to convince a peaceful solution between the two factions.
Okay.
And yeah, so they find the path, but the Padawan chooses to stay with Ventress, and they go off into the sun, and those are Ventress's episodes. I have to watch those episodes again because there's a lot that I just I didn't retain.
No, I'm hearing you. It sounds like some missed opportunities with Ventress. Again.
Yeah, you could have delved into how she met Dooku and, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, again,
because she grew up under another Jedi Master, right? I know that was introduced in the Clone Wars, so that could have been something, but
it's one of those things where I will say that it sounds... Again, I know we're in modern medium. I know some people might disagree with me. I think Jean Grey in Brand New Day kind of proves my point with this in particular.
Yeah.
Sword Ventress is one of those characters that personally they should have left her being dead from the book.
Yeah.
She's one of those characters.
Yeah, because
and I like Sword Ventress.
Yeah, it's like the mole issue. What can be done with this character now?
Yeah.
And it's them just wanting to stay rooted in this time period. And as we talked about earlier, like before the stream, I want to move on from that. But anyway, there was an origin story in Tales of the Underworld, and it's Cad Bane, and that's the one I remember the most.
Well, yeah, it's Cad Bane. It's the bounty hunter that is from the Clone Wars.
Clone Wars. Yeah, like the best bounty hunter, apparently.
Well, yeah, because they will never bring my boy from 2003 back.
Dirge.
Despite him being canon, by the way, he is canon.
Yeah.
I want Dirge back, please.
Yeah, basically, it goes into the story about how Cad Bane became a bounty hunter. So the first episode, it's him and his friend Nero as kids, and they're street urchins, they're street rats and stuff. They get into some trouble, and like the local big time criminal leads them on a job, and it ends with Nero's arrest and Cad Bane. I think he was called a different name back then, but for the purpose of discussion, I'm just gonna keep calling him Bane. He abandons his friend and goes off with this criminal out of the planet. So next episode, he's a teenager and he has a girlfriend. And they come back to his home planet, and he gets to meet Nero again. Because, Bane comes back to the planet because the criminal that introduced him to stuff died in a shootout with the sheriff there. And that same sheriff took in Nero. So Nero's on the side of the law, and Bane is a criminal. And Nero's like, yeah, dude, don't cause trouble, otherwise it's gonna get ugly. And then, Bane can't let it go, so, he causes trouble, and Bane has to be arrested, and he's shipped off to jail. And next episode, it follows Nero as an adult, and, there's whispers of Bane being released from prison, and coming back to settle a score. And we see that Nero has a son. And, the girlfriend of Bane had passed away like a few years ago, and it turns out that Nero married her, and they were raising the child together. So to make a long story short, it's like this cowboy film, like a
western, like, space western.
Yeah, another inspiration for the franchise. But yeah, basically Bane walks into town. He and Nero have a standoff. They draw, they fire, and Bane wins. And with his dying breath, Nero's son comes to, like, be with his father as, he takes his last breath. And Nero basically implies that his son is Bane's son. So the context being that Bane's girlfriend was pregnant in episode 2. So when Bane went to prison, Nero offered to marry her and raise the child. And the child still thinks Nero is his dad, but in reality he's Cad Bane's son. And Bane, realizes this as Nero dies, and he tries to reach out for his son, but chooses not to, and he just walks away, with the entire town hating him for it. So somewhere out there, Cad Bane has a son who he chooses to not have contact with. And yeah, that's all the Tales series as of
now. Unless, to be fair, how long has it been since the last season?
I think that one came out 2000. It's been a year. Yeah, it came out last year. Okay. So maybe we'll get a new one next time? Who knows? Yeah, okay, so we talked about Visions, talked about Bad Batch, talked about Tales. Now, let's move on to the Shadow Lord show.
Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly from what you told me, because, again, another one I haven't watched other than via clips. Kind of pointless, but kind of awesome.
Yeah, I would say that.
It's one of those where it wasn't needed, but it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Like, even if I feel like he's now approaching Ahsoka level of overexposure, but Maul is such a fun character to just watch and plot, and it's just fun watching him be evil.
Well, again, Maul is probably George's Lucas, because I personally think Maul coming back was a Lucas idea. I can't remember if it was or not, but I'm pretty sure it was a Lucas idea.
I mean, Lucas did have plans to make him like...
He was meant to be the villain for the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, so maybe that was like set up to that in a way.
I think it was, but it was also regret.
Because like we said before, he was kind of shafted in Phantom Menace.
Yeah, and it felt like it was meant to be. He was meant to be a bit more involved in the prequels, but George wrote himself into a corner.
Okay, so just to get into like our rewrite ideas and stuff, I would have kept Maul as the Sith Lord villain throughout the entire 3 films. So in the first one, we get to see him talk a bit more, and he acts like his Clone Wars self. And we still see Obi-Wan defeat him. But instead of like his lower half of his body, it's like his legs or something. But the main point being, Obi-Wan wins that duel. Episode 2 comes around, and Maul is still has returned. Get into a brief skirmish with Anakin and Obi-Wan, but is on Geonosis, and Count Dooku is there as the head of the Separatist leader. So him and Dooku are working together. And right, Dooku is not a Jedi Master, or
he'll just be a politician.
Maybe or maybe he was, but for now he's just the head of the Separatists. That's all he is. With his own goals, Maul approaches him on the orders of Sidious. So stuff like that. How the clone armies comes to be, I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, Maul at the end of Attack of the Clones fights Anakin and Obi-Wan again. Maybe Dooku is there? But like the main point being, Maul wins the fight, and he's the one that cuts off Anakin's arm. So he taunts Anakin like, "Oh hey, yeah, I killed Qui-Gon Jinn. What are you gonna do about it? Don't let yourself be destroyed as Qui-Gon did." And slices off his arm, wins the duel. Yoda comes in, maybe, and stuff like that. So that when we get to Revenge of the Sith and the opening scene is like Maul fighting Anakin and Obi-Wan again. Obi-Wan is distracted or is knocked away, or he's taking care of Dooku somewhere else. But yeah, Anakin and Maul fight with each other. Anakin wins, and he kills him like he kills Dooku in the original film. And that works so much better because we've seen Maul in all 3 films. So we had a lot more time with him to develop him and stuff like that. And at this point, Maul has kind of served out his story. Because he gets killed off in the opening, and that frees up like Dooku and Grievous to do their roles. The main point of this Sith character, whether it's Maul or Dooku, is to show Anakin's fall to the dark side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
so
again, like I said, if it was going back in time, Maul, and we could talk George Lucas, keep Maul as the Sith going through the whole trilogy, just to have more of an impact on both Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yep.
I would have Dooku be from nobility, leading a planet. He's dissatisfied with the Republic. And this was going pre-Phantom Menace. He starts the Separatist movement. The Sith offer to help him. I would still have it because it's part of Christopher Lee. He's a sword fighter, so he can fight Jedis as well. So that would have been something very interesting to see in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, and him just kicking it. Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm down for that.
Because essentially you could have had that in Revenge of the Sith as well. As Anakin's going to kill the Separatist leader, he has to fight Count Dooku. A non-Force user who puts up a good enough fight, but
okay, so if I was to continue writing it, instead of Grievous, I would have had it like Obi-Wan goes to stop Dooku on what was the planet again?
Utapau.
Yeah, Unipal. And it's like Obi-Wan, he stops Dooku, and Dooku like realizes what's going to happen. Like he realizes right now that what Palpatine is planning to do, and he can't stop it.
Yeah,
haven't really worked out the kinks or stuff, but with Dooku's death, that kind of just leads Palpatine to kind of corral the Separatist units to Mustafar, where he serves them up to Anakin on a silver platter. Yeah.
What? Yeah. Well, if I will reference, seeing that we're near the end of our retrospective, the Revenge of the Sith novel kind of makes a point that Anakin didn't enjoy killing the Jedi, but he loved killing the Separatists.
Yeah, I mean he's cracking jokes and stuff, which I find really funny.
Well, again,
he's making puns. Like, Darth Sidious said we'll be left in peace. The transmission was garbled. He said you'd be left in pieces.
I forget.
Like, there you go.
What? Yeah, like you'll be left in pieces.
That's Darth Vader. It's like it reminds me of that Robot Chicken sketch.
Yes.
Where like it's like Rogue One and stuff, and he's just like cracking jokes throughout the entire thing.
Oh, that reminds me. You know what? I gotta send you a what if from. I'm gonna recommend a channel for people that like what ifs or stuff from franchise. Darth Ferris. Great channel. Recommend what you check him out. Darth Ferris has 2 videos you should check out, Rixart. What if Robot Chicken's Palpatine was in the Star Wars universe? And there's one where it's what if the clones protecting Palpatine from the 03 ones actually kill Grievous?
Yeah.
And it just turns into like these clone troopers can just kill anyone coming through that Palpatine hires to kidnap him, and it's just Palpatine becoming more and more his Robot Chicken character. So like, he's not understanding how like all these top bounty hunters, how Grievous died because of a because of a clone trooper with a rocket launcher. Sure.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's this great what if. I'll send it to you off the stream. But you'll get a kick out of it. I enjoy those kind of stuff.
Also, yeah, just part of the reason why the prequels are so fondly remembered is the memes and the jokes, and I feel like Robot Chicken is responsible for a lot of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to more Shadow Lord. Yeah. I would say it's a cool show. Don't think it's very necessary. But, if you're a fan of Maul and just want to watch more Star Wars stuff, go ahead. I have this feeling that it's trying to reboot the franchise. Because with the introduction of that Padawan he corrupted, it's like going up to like the original plans Lucas wanted to do, and I feel like Dave Filoni's trying to do that.
This is where we're coming into the discussion that there's a big rumor going around at the moment.
Yeah.
That Dave Filoni is setting up a reboot for the series as a whole. and it's meant to take place in the big crossover that's meant to be happening.
Yeah.
Now, talking as a lapsed Star Wars viewer here, I would love Star Wars to get a reset. It kind of needs it. Me and Rixart was talking to a friend earlier, and we brought this up. Star Wars is going nowhere. There's no direction, and there's probably no plans at the moment for it to be like that. So them doing a reset and then probably having to recast Luke, Han, and Leia to continue the story, I'm okay with. We are, unfortunately, Star Wars has kind of approached dead franchise territory.
Yeah.
It is pretty much a battered house rifle of a franchise. What is a shame, because it's Star Wars at the end of the day.
No, I mean, I would still call myself a fan. I mean, the original movies, some of the cartoon projects, toys, the Lego. A lot of good memories to say that I'm a fan of it, but it's kind of like a... Okay, so, not to go on another tangent or anything, I'll keep it very short, but recently Disney Plus cancelled their Power Ranger series. And that's just like another nail in the coffin of saying that Power Rangers is indeed a dead franchise now. That, to me, I say with complete confidence and certainty. The higher-ups didn't know what they were doing. They piss on any new avenues. And no one cares about it anymore. And I feel like that's really sad. And I still say Star Wars might have some fight left in it, because there are people trying to push it. It's just like, what direction are they going to take it?
Yeah.
That's the problem for me.
And this is something where personally, I would rather there be no Star Wars content coming out whatsoever than what we're currently getting. And again, this is part of why we did this retrospect. You can see that up until 2021, I was still a Star Wars fan. They were still producing content that I genuinely loved at the end of the day. And it's a shame that this is what became of one of the powerhouses in entertainment. Like, this is something we all have to remember, and I think anyone younger might not realize. Star Wars used to be a powerhouse as a franchise. And
It did, yeah.
Unfortunately, that's no longer the case. And this is all just down to Disney themselves. Like, it's a shame. But I hope people's enjoyed our talks of this. I can't really contribute to anything post-Bad Batch, because I haven't watched it. But like we said, the animated universe of Star Wars is goldmine, essentially. There are a few shows we haven't talked about.
Yeah, like the live action stuff. That's another stream.
Yeah.
May not be the next one, but you know, eventually we'll talk about them.
We'll probably move on to something else for the next stream. But we are in essentially this weird territory. Because the only other animated series we haven't talked about that's of note is Resistance, and that's because neither of us has watched it. And don't plan on watching
it didn't go on. It didn't go on long. No one talks about it.
It
And besides one character's father being the Ahsoka show, other than that, I can't tell you anything about it.
Yeah, we are. it's that weird conundrum, folks, and it's annoying that it is. Is at the end of the day. But hey, that's nothing we can really actually do about it. So I hope you have enjoyed two nerds animating while talking about the animated properties of a
a dying franchise.
You say dying, I say dead, but a beloved franchise overall.
But yeah, it kind of droned on a little bit talking.
To be fair, we glazed Dooku. Like Dooku was the one where we can glaze. They are stuff. Overall, like, is everything perfect in this? No. I think the near perfect one was the 03 Clone Wars, like we mentioned in the previous stream.
Yeah.
But we are essentially talking about what was complete advertisement for episode 3, essentially. And again, I will never apologize for that particular thing existing. Sorry if I'm getting distracted by my own work. Oh, I'm going to save because I've got a feeling it's going to do something in a sec. But yeah, the animated Star Wars. If any of you want to leave a comment or message us because we're still currently live, feel more free. I mean, we have pretty much gone over all of them, unless we're going to talk about some of the dark days of the Ewoks, but
to say, I still haven't seen those cartoons.
Me either, and I'm not planning to.
Yeah.
You know, as I can promise by the Lord, God Almighty himself, I am never watching the Ewok stuff. Again, it's a shame that at the time, the limitations, that it couldn't be Wookiees like it was planned.
Yeah. Would have been much better if it was Wookiees.
Yes, I think this is something that I think a lot of people go, oh, it was all for toys. Not really. It was more, how many toy actors could we get to play Wookiees?
Well, it was also like, I read it was like a costuming kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like making the Wookiee suits would have been too expensive.
And what is a shame, because we missed out on it. I'm gonna call this shot done. It's literally, I just have to.
Yeah. Yeah. For those that don't know, the first shot I was working on was me reshotting and reformatting everything. I didn't like the way it looked. I did one shot before when we were talking to our friend, and now I'm finishing the next one.
Yeah, and I'm here debating on if I want to go over to a new scene entirely, because I am doing a action scene. Well, it's pretty much laid out via a previs, what you can see over here.
Oh.
So I am torn about if I'm just gonna go onto a new scene. What I might actually do, although I love this one, I got. You know what? I might just block out this little bit more because I am intrigued. So I'm gonna have to do some self-reference. So that would be a couple steps. Okay, I'm gonna have that leg move back there. That leg moves a bit more forward. But yeah, we I hope you've enjoyed us at least picking a topic for while we do these streams.
Yeah.
And
like, if you guys want to decide what we talk about next, drop it in the comments.
Yeah, comments, message live. We are more than willing to talk about pretty much most of media, like how to keep at least some form of conversation going. We were talking about cop shows and detective and investigation shows before this.
Oh, we can do a ranking all about that.
Yeah, like you already know which one I'm gonna put like near tier with a exclamation with a asterisk at the end for it only being searched a number of seasons.
Yeah.
Since for people that want a little bit of cheese, that's Criminal Minds. I'll let you have a guess what seasons I'm talking about.
Yeah, like we have not watched the modern seasons.
No,
Honestly, I'm a bit surprised it went on too long, but given the landscape, makes sense.
Again, mind you, that would be something I would enjoy from Star Wars. Is a investigation. Like I would love someone's like in the distant future actually trying to learn the history of why events happened the way they happened.
Hey, I'll be down for that idea.
And because it would be something to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, Star Wars. You know what? Maybe we will touch on at the end here what we would like to see from animated Star Wars moving forward.
Yeah, if that rumor, the other day I read a rumor that Lucasfilms is partnering with Disney to make more animated content, pivoting away from live action stuff. We'll see what that means. I don't know if it's true or not, but we'll see what that means.
If that's the case, I want Luke, Han, and Leia, please, set during the Galactic Civil War.
Just give us more Luke Skywalker. That's all I want.
Like, is it too much to ask that we get Luke? Like, you did it for you did it for Mandalorian Season 2's finale. I really like to see my boy on screen.
So anyways,
yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks for... I take it you need to wrap off,
Yeah, I know, I haven't fed my brother in a bit. Probably should get on that.
No, if you feel like it's we've done a pretty decent stream. We should have another one for you guys tomorrow. Bro, if not, you will definitely be seeing us on a Thursday coming up. Your boy's got a rare good stream of luck.
Yep.
So yeah, and this is probably a good time to end it, seeing we have finished the thing and the time over here in good old wildfire country at the moment. Well, to be fair, if you paid attention, if you're on X, formerly known as Twitter, yes, we got a nuclear alert for wildfires.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That was fun. It was a disappointment learning it wasn't World War III, but...
remember guys, do not start fires.
Do not start fires. More people did fires afterwards.
And on that note, have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you again next time.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed us, and I hope you join us for next time. And we'll be seeing all of you hopefully very soon. Adios, amigos.
Right, tornado.